Hello and welcome back, and thank you for tuning in to Soothe Your Soul with Savannah Brooke. I'm so happy and honored to have my good friend April join us today. And April, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into what we're going to share with you on this episode.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Yes.
This is a wonderful platform and opportunity to share more about what we do behind the scenes as healers.
Yes,
So,
yes.
my name is April Muir. I work with the mind in addition to the body. So when someone comes to me and they have specific symptoms that they've been dealing with and they don't really know why they have them, they're kind of this strange part of the puzzle of their life that they just wish could just be smoothed out and balanced, but it just happens to be these symptoms that they have to deal with. I first go to ask them a few questions and just to see like what their belief system is in their mind.
Yeah.
So what happens is that we have healing energy available to us all around.
Right.
But until we tell that energy, hey, I want to be healed, I want to feel better, then we're not going to feel better. So when there's a belief system, sometimes people actually want a pain because it's benefiting them in some way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the way that I've referred to in the past is like addicted to suffering. It's like sometimes we don't know how to pull ourselves out because how we're feeling ourselves is with sometimes things that are unfortunate or discomfort.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is that the mind gets comfortable because it's familiar. So one of the first things I always tell everyone is when you want to change and you want to have a transformation in your life and you want this symptom to be healed, you have to first be prepared to feel uncomfortable for a few minutes and to look inside and ask those questions that really open up your heart to the truth of why this ailment is there.
That's so true. This morning, I was really thinking about a similar thing. And you know, we're always right on the same wavelength with things. But I was just thinking about, right now, a lot of people might be experiencing some hard times. And it's October 2020, so we are flying through 2020, and it feels like the time has been 1 month long for me. I don't know about you. But
definitely
this morning I was thinking about how you have to want to make a shift in your life in order to really see that change. And we have to ask ourselves those difficult questions. We have to ask ourselves, what am I not happy about? What could I be doing to make myself happy? And who's in my life that's creating blockages like that? Or what am I doing on my daily tasks that are contributing towards something that I'm trying to move out of? So right now we're moving into this shift where our energy needs to be more prioritized, more intentional, and we want to look at that consciously, what we're doing with our time in our space, and that includes our thoughts and emotions. And so can you tell me from your experience or a time where you've been able to help somebody really pull through a breakthrough thought where they've been repeating the same pattern over and over again, but now they're ready to make that breakthrough, and how you can help them with that? Or
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
I can actually, what's today? Thursday. My most recent clients were on Tuesday. And it was a husband and wife, and the husband actually loves his wife so much. They got married a few years ago, and he really wanted one of her characteristics and part of her personality that is so strong is that she lives from her heart.
Yeah. Oh, Lexi, and I'm doing heart.
So
I just felt I was feeling the heart chakra open
He
up.
actually came and got a hypnotherapy session so that he could learn to live from his heart instead of just his head. just like his wife.
Yeah.
Because he says he just loves her so much, and that is one thing that he admires most about her. Mm-hmm. So I talked him through a couple of things, and it was just a quick 1-hour session, and he told me like some of the symptoms and how often he tends to get, in his head, and the journey it takes to pulling that energy down. And I just gave him some truth talk. Like, the truth is that if your heart's in it and you're in alignment with your purpose and your soul purpose, then you actually don't have to get your mind into it at all.
Right.
Because your vibration is creating it.
Right, and you're moving forward with the vibration. Honestly, it's pulling towards you.
Yeah.
The way that I see it,
Exactly.
Is like, you set your focus on this tree. I've done this before. It's an exercise I've done. So I set my focus on this tree. And even though at that time my energy was scattered, I kept feeling like I wanted to run away from just nothing. It's just your energy, your mind. You don't realize that subconsciously you're trying to go, go, go.
Yeah.
So I was trying to center my focus, and I was staring at this tree. And I just set my focus on it. And every time a new thought came up, I would think, nope, I'm going to focus on this tree. And then all of a sudden, like, time passed, and after I settled myself, I noticed that I tapped into my heart, and then I was moving towards the tree, but it felt like time had just moved towards me. It was like the vibration of time had just moved through me.
Yeah, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's interesting because that's the quantum field.
Yeah.
That is how you manifest. And what's beautiful is when you start to clean your body and clear your life of the people that aren't on that same frequency.
Yeah.
That don't want to be a part of the heart-centered life. That once you move away from that, and that itself is a journey, then everything flows freely towards you.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to resist.
Right.
Not even yourself.
Not even yourself. Yeah.
So what I did with him is I explained it, which is great, but I also gave him and I used a tree. I gave him a recording that had his specific lifestyle needs and his desires so that he can listen to it anytime he wants.
Yeah.
In particular at night, so that the suggestions go straight from the subconscious mind to his behavior.
Yeah.
And that was just 3 days ago. He reached out to me and he said, I don't even think about getting out of my head. I just immediately counts down.
Yes.
My heart opens and I feel like I'm the tree because I know I am the tree.
Yeah. And then grounding it.
Yep.
And then becoming in that energy. That's a beautiful story. And so was the
All
wife,
within an hour.
did he mention the wife recognizing it?
No, he didn't
Okay.
mention that because that would have been probably something of judgment of like, oh, well,
Yeah.
it's
no,
like,
I
honey, you're
understand.
perfect just the way that you are.
Yeah.
Would be the conversation that I would want,
Yeah.
in my marriage. But it's amazing how easy it is to really release those false belief systems in the mind, and then bam, the heart opens up and it's ready to receive.
Yeah.
Where you just say, heal me, God.
Yes.
I want to be healed.
Yes.
And whatever's standing in the way of that, it'll show up in your life as a challenge, but it's meant for you to see it so you can overcome it.
Yeah.
And then you just clear it out some more from your divine channel so you
Yeah.
can receive and give healing energy.
Yeah, because then we're full.
Yep.
Yes, amazing.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
I love
Thank
it.
you
I
for that
love talking about
story.
this stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm so glad to have you. So, you mentioned God, and if you're a watcher, I love God.
Yes.
That He's my center. And I'm so happy to speak with your experience about God here, because I know that right now, a lot of times in our world, and when you step into the energy world, right, there are many perspectives. There are many
There sure are.
opinions.
Every
And-
person has their own view.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a great part of our human experience journey together. And so, personally, I recently came to knowing Jesus less than a year, I would say about a year ago, but I've always been living through what I understood as the Holy Spirit and just connecting deeply with God as a channeler. I was always connecting through the divine source, a creator is kind of the way that I saw it. But I've been experiencing like an evolution of knowing God. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about, because I know that you've been close with God for a longer period of time. And I just want to hear a little bit about how that impacts you and how the faith drives your joy every day, or any good stories you'd like to share so we can inspire others to feel that it is a truth to lean on in the time of difficult.
Yeah, well, that truth, this is how I know it and I understand it, and this is how a lot of people understand it, is that once you are connected with that truth has no fear. It has no fear. It goes, it says, I am that I am. And then you are. So you become the vibration of what it is that you want. So if you want healing, if you want happiness, if you want joy. I grew up in a very tumultuous childhood. I mean, everything from being kidnapped to not eating for days was like, it just was. Yeah. And
and pardon the smile. I know, pardon the smile. It's not something to smile at, but we have spoken about this before, and we know what it's like to go through the struggle and then to heal it and resolve it from within. So even though it is a touchy subject,
it is touchy for a lot of people. Yeah. I am smiling because I'm so full of joy to be on the other side.
Yeah. It's
and that none of the memories or everything was chosen by God. I know that the angels watched every step.
Yeah.
And so it's how we take it.
Yeah.
You know, I felt held back in my life, and I said it was because of that, that tough childhood.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. You know, when I really thought about it, I knew that everyone in my family, the people that I was around, were doing the best that they thought they could do.
Right. And so there's no blame.
There was no blame. Yeah. Everyone was doing the best they could do with the given resources that they had at that time. So only to an untrained eye, when you see God in everything, that is when there's just ultimate joy.
Yeah.
And it just is.
Yeah.
Everything just is. It's like, oh my God, that's so perfect. Yeah. You know, like you spill a big thing of pasta and it's
You're
like, oh, wasn't that interesting?
I know. Actually, I love it when multiple things go wrong at a time, because then you're just like, and then you're just like, I just need to take a moment and be still. And when you take those moments to be still, then everything else just unfolds for you, right?
It totally does. It does. And what I've noticed is, and I know a lot of people do, but when we start to change, we're met with resistance. And oftentimes we have this belief in our head that says, oop, if there's resistance, it means I must be going in the wrong way.
Right.
But maybe you've been going the wrong way for so long that now going the right way, the place that is in alignment with your true soul purpose, in alignment with God's purpose for you, that is going to take some time, and it's going to be met with some obstacles and challenges to get on that right path.
Yeah.
So breathe through it, trust, and always reach out to, someone that you love, like that aunt that just always knows what to say. Go within and ask for a mentor, and, go to a local church that that just someone that you have confidence in.
Yeah.
That you know that they were meant to help you, because people are faulted. You don't want to find the wrong guidance,
Yeah, it's so true. And, we can always remember that people are only meeting you at their level of their perception also, based on, I always say, people can only respond to you based on their life experience based on every situation, every moment that has ever happened to them up until this very minute and second.
Unless you're a channel for God's will.
Unless we're a channel for God's will. Because then we've worked through a lot of those things. So as healers, there's a journey. We're very close with the healing community, and we know that when we first come into our healing journey, we're trying to help others heal so much, but we remember that actually we're just trying to heal ourselves. And so when you can take a step back to saying, okay, I'm letting go of the idea that I need to help save others, right?
Yeah.
And this feeling of throwing yourself out into the world to be seen and known. This is what happened to me, in a way that you want to be helping all these people through their healing, but just through your own individual healing and living through purpose, then you're carrying that highest vibration that you can, and everybody you interact with at that point is being received by that.
Yeah, because it comes, and that's a very, this past Sunday, I did a session for someone, and the Archangel Gabriel came through. And that was a message. I said, we're recording this. Can we please get a message? Because a lot of people are confused at how to pray.
Yeah.
And when they pray, they're getting mixed signals.
Right.
Mixed signals in their life. And he was very clear. He said, well, it's the intention. That's where it begins. When you have that intention in your heart and it comes from a pure state. But we can only have that pure state if we have gone through that journey of, the shadow part of ourself. We've done that healing. For example, some people might be saying, I really want a nice big house, just like 7 bedrooms. And, I pray and pray and pray for it, and it just didn't come. But it's not coming from the right place. It's like, well, do you want that house to help your family so that maybe your family can come and live and you can share the mortgage? Or are you doing it because you want to say, oh, this is all for me and it's all mine, mine, mine?
Yeah.
So when you get that house, you're not going to feel good. You're not going to feel fulfilled. And because it's coming from the wrong place.
Yeah.
The house was just an easy example.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it makes so much sense.
You get what you get back what you put out. But
Absolutely.
Knowing that true intention takes time. That's why we have to be so forgiving and understanding to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that through my 4-year journey, our will, the will is connected to the intention. But a lot of times the will is connected to the soul and the mind. This is something that I've learned recently coming through my rebirth situation that I experienced through Christ. And knowing that the soul and the mind and the will are connected with your emotions, all of that is connected to who you are in this realm, in this dimension, in this body, right? But our spirit actually is separate than that. That's the part of us that's the higher divine essence that's connected through Christ to heaven. And if our will or our intentions are impure, it's because we have been taught something differently through our belief systems, through the way of the world around us. And sometimes it's hard for us to let those things go. That feeling of, this is who I am. You mentioned when you begin to change. Tell me about, like, when you've seen difficulties, or how do you see, sometimes people have trouble with change. Yeah. Sometimes people think that change doesn't exist, or that it's people don't change. You hear these things. But where do you think it lies within somebody to make that decision?
That's a great question. Poor programming. The subconscious mind is running the same program that it's been running since you were 7, and that's where it is. There's a glitch in the system.
Yes.
So that's why it's so important to meditate, because, hypnosis gets right into that issue.
Yeah.
And it's able to get to that deeper subconscious mind where that program is running, that bad belief system, that false belief system. And meditation allows you to go into that state. And when you're listening to music, like mantra and sound vibration, when you're in that meditative state, those sounds are actually clearing the quantum field of your which is where your subconscious mind is lying, where it's sending those messages. That's why the hypnosis and the sound therapy is so effective with transforming our lives. Because it's working on a subconscious level, and that works on the quantum field.
Yes.
All those messages we're putting out is getting cleared, and it starts resonating and vibrating with our our heart.
Yes. Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. I swear, you're sitting right in the chair where I was just watching a video on my phone with Michael Beckwith. Have you heard of him?
No.
He's amazing. So if you are not familiar with Michael Beckwith, definitely look him up.
Mm-hmm.
He has Agape Ministries, and he's out of California, but there aren't too many, he's got kind of it's a trans-denominational sector,
Okay.
which means it's including all forms of understanding consciousness through God. And so it's really great because it includes metaphysics, but it's very God of the universe, Almighty.
The Godhead.
Yeah, the Godhead. And it's a really beautiful perspective, and I love listening to him. And I was just watching a thing right before he came in, and he was talking about we don't have ears to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Or we don't hear because we have ears, but we have ears because we hear, like as beings, like in the third dimension.
Mm-hmm.
We have ears because that's the way it has manifested.
Mm-hmm.
So just like what you're saying. So it's literally
powerful.
what's going on from inside is what's manifesting out here in our physical world.
Yeah, that's
and that
amazing.
is down to our physical body, how we have created ourselves to be.
As above, so below.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, April, thank you so much for explaining
Thank you for
your
having me.
versions of hypnotherapy and quantum healing, because there are so many different perspectives that we can look into with this. And April, why don't you tell them where they can find you if they want to reach out, or if you have any questions or comments, you can leave those below as well. But let us know where we can hear from you.
We would love to have and answer any questions. The first step to knowing more about yourself is just asking. So you can find me at aprilmuirhealing.com. That's April, last name M-U-R, healing.com. And you're going to see my everything, all the information, email, phone number. And
are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram, April Muir Hypnotist. And also I have another Instagram. It's at Divine Mind Body Reset.
Oh, okay. That one sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you again. And
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Soothe Your Soul with Savannah Brooke. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Blessings.
Blessings.